All right. Question number 3. What is your position regarding the government supplementing coal, oil, wind, and solar energy corporations? Me personally, I disagree with the government supplementing any privately owned business. Having worked in the private industry business for the past 20 years, the government giving me my company money in order for us to do things, I disagree with. You're a private business. The idea of capitalism is either you succeed or fail. If you don't have a business plan, or you don't have a product that people want to buy, or you can't market your product in a way that you sell enough in order to stay in business, the government has no business giving you money to stay afloat. I also do disagree as well with the government making rules and regulations that hinders the abilities for businesses to survive. And I know that from the body shop industry. We had several EPA rules that took effect January 1st, 2011 that literally cost the company I work for tens of thousands of dollars in order to comply with these new rules. And the stupid thing is none of them made the workplace safer. None of them helped anything. But they cost me money, and they hindered my ability to be profitable. The clean air stuff that President Obama was pushing through, I disagreed with that. I disagreed with taxpayer dollars going to solar energy companies to supplement them to try to help them grow. Now, I don't have a problem with loans and grants where companies apply to the government for a government loan in order to help grow their business. That's a good thing. That promotes businesses, that promotes jobs, it promotes job growth, it promotes industry in our country. But those are loans. And in some cases, they're grants. Government has grants set aside. But it's, the government has loans and grants for multiple different things, too, besides just businesses. And why should a specific type of business be excluded from a loan or a grant that other types of businesses are? But for the government actually supplementing, giving money to these organizations in order to keep them afloat is against capitalism. If you can't, that's why I will say this: I was against the freaking bailouts of GM and Chrysler. Their business practices is what put them in a position to fail. My company, if the owner of my company had run his business in the same manner and was on the verge of bankruptcy, the government wouldn't have been coming in and trying to give us money to keep us afloat so we could try to turn around and stay in business. The government would have looked at us and went, your fault. And that's why I think it should be. I don't think taxpayer dollars ought to be used to bail out businesses who screw up. At the same time, say a company like GM, like Chrysler. Now, Chrysler's already had one bailout, if you remember, back in the early 80s. They were about to go under, and they got a bailout from the government. And they turned it around. They changed CEOs. That's when Lee Iacocca took over. And they turned around and they started making a profit. They paid the money back. GM has paid back their bailout money. In a situation like that where they've been in business for a long time, they put themselves in a bad predicament. They come to the government, ask for a loan. in order to stay afloat, to restructure, change their practices, and turn around and become profitable again, and they'll pay the loan back. Again, that's a loan. It's not a supplement. But the stuff that Obama did with that solar panel company or whatever, where he just gave them $500 million or something like that, and then they turned around and went bankrupt. That's unacceptable. So, but yeah, I believe that the government, we have loans, government loans and government grants that companies can apply for to help start up a business, which is good. To help, once they've got it started, maybe sometimes it's a loan or a grant to help them expand or grow or market their product in order to become successful. I don't see an issue with that. But just giving them money because it's an agenda of somebody, that's how I see the stuff that Obama did. It was his agenda to promote green energy over coal. He harmed the coal industry by making rules and regulations that literally almost destroyed the coal industry. He refused to allow the oil industry to expand in order to promote his pet peeve or his pet projects of green energy. And he literally gave hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money out to these industries that fell apart, these companies that fell apart. So I disagree with stuff like that, but I do agree with companies having the ability to borrow money or to get grants to help them grow. But the government has no input on anything. The government should have no say-so in that business. And this kind of harkens to the some of the rules and regulations that was put down after the '08 financial collapse, where the government was trying to limit the amount of money that companies can pay CEOs and stuff like that. I disagree with that too. It's a private industry. It's a private company. They can pay their CEOs whatever they want. I don't care. But if the company's losing money and their CEOs are getting tens or hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses, that's just a very poor business plan. And when that company goes to go bankrupt, don't come and ask me for money. Tell your CEO to donate all those hundreds of millions of dollars in bonuses you gave him to get the company back afloat again. So that's my stance. No against supplementing businesses, but yes, why not allow them to continue with the loans and grants that we have if they're going to grow? But the government has no say so in the business itself, and if the business goes up, it goes up. You got to market your own business. That's the way it works. If you don't have a product people want, or if you can't market it to where it becomes a profitable business and you go out of business, and I know a lot of you're going to say, wait a minute, I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm offering loans to companies that could possibly go bankrupt, and I'm kind of chiding Obama on what he did. It's a different aspect. It's like when you go get a home loan, and then you lose your job. You receive the loan because you looked like you could pay it back, but then when you lose your job and you're out of work for so long, you no longer have the money to make your loan payments with. You're going to lose the home. It's not the bank's fault that they gave you the loan when you looked like you could pay it back. And it's not your fault because you looked like you could pay it back and then you lost your job. So if you kind of want to compare it in that aspect, giving loans to companies that are stable, have a good plan, a vision, they got a product that people are buying but they just need more advertising in order to grow or something like that, that's different. Just handing out money because it's your pet peeve, that needs to be stopped. We need to be more fiscally responsible with the money that we take in for the taxpayers, and we just don't give it away because we want to promote green energy and not fossil energy. So again, any comments on that, please? If I didn't answer the question right, or if you think of a different question on the same subject, just leave a comment.